Yeah.
I'm also pretty sure that Glass Needles runs 96 Deco occasionally.
Interesting.
So.
Okay.
And Static is on Bucket, which shout out to all the Bucket players out there. I love y'all. Thank you.
For sure. And speaking of Bucket,
Oh.
Static is back on Bucket. This is an interesting pick from the side of Souza. Looks like they're going with the Hydra here. They will have more range than anyone else on the field.
Oh man, Hydra. Hydra's is one of those weapons where it's either so good on your team or so bad. It really just depends on the player. Because if you play Hydra right, it's basically just a giant splash ball. You can't go through without dying.
You
at all.
cannot get close to a Hydra if the Hydra knows how to aim. And already we see Team Name taking the earliest lead here. Player is able to trade out on that bottom left. And they have quite a bit of control pushing them back.
Of course, and
Glass Needles? Oh, the reflex will be Team.
Oh, yeah,
sorry, team Name has the reflex.
I do want to say that Team has a lot of pain with that reflux, that dual edit and speed. I think if you can just treat them in zone, they can probably just solo cap, even out hitting that throw.
Yeah, although it's been a bit of a slugfest in it so far. No team has really been able to push up on the flat area. Looks like they're content just getting pick after pick, cap the zone, recap the zone, how tiny the zone is.
And I do believe there are two stuck in the corner for Team Name. One of them does go down, and then so Static is staying alive. They're probably taking strikes here if they want to keep going, but we'll have to see. The pro is coming back though, so.
Oh, the hammer to your point, Drizzle. Static was sitting back a bit trying to get those strikes, but Player comes up, gets two on him, and I think they might have even got a third there.
Yeah, they got a third on that hammer
throw. Amazing stuff from Player.
Of course, and also I want to say really good hammer map as well. It's small, there's not a lot of places to move, and if you really want to back up out of a hammer, you have to climb a wall or just run backwards.
And already Team Name, they know that they can get here. Player has chosen to try to shred this Booyah, gets it off before the Booyah comes down. Just amazing individual play from Player here, and this is a second amazing pick from Player. You can't stop this player named Player.
This guy might be the best sploosh player I've ever seen. Oh my god.
Oh my
Another
goodness.
another jump in here by this dually. Player finds the pick, and now there's only 30 penalty left for Team Name. So if they just stay alive, they could really start. You could really put this game in a dominant position for them.
Yeah, Glass Needles, it was critical that they capped there for a second because I think it would have been over, but already, even though they capped, they're already down to only 11 penalty points left down on the side of Team Name, and that's one down on both sides. They are going to have to avoid dying to the sploosh before they push in. I think they know where the sploosh is, but the sploosh is just sitting here underneath them, and they cap for a second. Oh no!
And man, sploosh. Oh, Sploosh is just a rat weapon, bro. I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah.
I do want to say, I think that Glass Needles really needs to try to stay alive more. They're staggered a lot of the time, and when they pop the specials, they either pop them at the same time or they just don't pop them in effective places. I mean, they miss a lot. They miss all the sploosh up. What's that really going to do? Yeah. They're already two down, and Player finds a pick with that. So it's literally just Souza and the pro alive here to go for his own.
I Just Awful is definitely not awful getting that pick there, and they are able to close out that game. I feel like about half that game also we spent specking the sploosh, but to your point, the sploosh rat ability is insane on that map, right? You saw them go through mid, and they were just underneath the little ledges in mid, getting picks there. Then they went up to, I don't even know what it's called, the glass area where the Hydra was, picked them off as well. It was just the sploosh playground. Really impressive stuff from Team Name.
God, yeah, those short maps are so good for weapons like sploosh and Wiper as well.
Indeed, yeah.
So, I mean, we're going to this game 2, which is, Haggle Tower. This might be a little bit harder for the sploosh.
Really interesting to see if they decide to change comp here, or if they're going to be like, hey, the sploosh comp worked out great on the last one. Let's just stick with the sploosh, or maybe the Wiper comes out.
We'll have to see. And
a
V-shot.
And a charger on the same. Okay, this is a big change, Osa.
Big changes, of course. Yeah, we got that Zuka for the Hydra, but Hydra going with Bubble here. And I do want to say on the side of Glass Needles, they do have that bubble. They have double strike and Kraken. So if they get lead late in the game, it's kind of just over. They have 3 GG specials
forever with that. You just have to get the lead to begin with. And already Trey's just coming out. Static is unfortunately going to be punished on this side with Souza getting on the tower early here. They don't have the bubble ready quite yet, but they did want to activate a little bit of that passive special charge. As unfortunately, one member from Glass Needles going down as I Just Awful is on the tower pretty aggressively, has to back up to mid.
I do want to say on the side of team name here, they do have that double backline, which you don't see that very much. But
real interesting, yeah.
Man, fighting double backline is such a mixed bag. It's either really easy or it's really hard. And I feel like in this map especially, it might be genuinely kind of hard to push them if they get set up.
Indeed, and already we see a Charger versus Hydra on tower, which is a very interesting, don't see that every single day, as Glass Needles is able to push just about to the first checkpoint. Unfortunately, they do lose 2 in the process, and Player not on the sploosh anymore, but they are on the shot, trying to take some space in mid, but again, the Kraken comes out immediately, right? Like, you can't really push the tower with the Kraken coming through.
Of course, and Player does have the Zuka. Might have to save it here. They do decide to pop it, going for the Hydra, but they don't get the pick. That might have been a waste of a special here, as they don't really push it anywhere. I mean, they're getting picks every once in a while, but they're not really coordinating the specials to start pushing.
Yeah, no team yet has really put together a good push yet. And interestingly enough, okay, I just awful, as soon as I say that, is able to get 2. That is actually 3 down now.
That's a wipe.
Wipe on the side of Glass Needles. And here is the double backline comp. We see Charger on tower, and that allows the Headit to play further up. You see how they're already up there on their ramp. They're able to push their opponents a lot further back, and this is not a good situation for Glass Needles.
Already 2 down, like you said, in Glass Needles, and she's playing really aggro with this edit. The Kraken does come out. Will be probably stopping the tower here at 18. Yeah. But that was a really, really good push from team name. And again, that double backline is just so hard to push into unless you fully commit to just killing those backlines and specials.
Indeed, and I don't know if this push is quite over yet. Static is able to take the tower here. They are going to have to win this fight against Wraith. Unfortunately, they do not, and already we're down to just 1 down, who again gets punished. They're close to the enemy spawn, so they will respawn, but 2 down now. Osa, this is a bloodbath.
Of course, and Player here really close to the Zuka. The Zuka could put this game away, or they could just win right here. It's just the 96, and they don't get to tower in time. So I do believe that is game 2 going to team name, correct?
Yeah, game 2 going to team name. You know, you said this right at the beginning of the match, but the whole double backliner thing is really interesting. Some people do call Headit more of like a midline, but you know, you can also think of it as being a backline. That Charger being on the tower and playing the backline role allowed the edit to move up so far. You called out they were basically just sitting there essentially underneath their drop in their spawn. And like, what do? You can't really drop out of spawn because you're either dropping into a Charger or you're dropping into a Headit. It comes, every single game matters in a play all 3. And even if you're down and you cannot win, you know, the quote set, you can still win. 3-0 versus 2-1 is going to be different in terms of how you're ranked. And going back to this, same as before. We're seeing the Charger plus the Headit. This is crazy, Osa.
Do you see those abilities on Player's Ink Brush?
Player has 2 mains.
There they go.
Of QSG. There they go. Okay, your wish has been fulfilled. Let's see what they do. You know what I think they're going to do? They're trying to get up there.
Static is just running down the back line in their base.
What is this? This is insane.
I don't know. I do want to say Ink Brush Nouveau is... I hate fighting it. I think it's one of the funniest weapons in the entire game.
Oh, it's hilarious. Don't get me wrong. It's a hilarious weapon. The problem is it has the hammer, and it's able just to get the cheekiest picks on you. You're like, tapped him once, tapped him twice, oh, I'm dead to hammer. Or like, tapped him once, tapped him twice, oh, I'm dead to a hammer throw. You know? So annoying.
And I do think this isn't I don't know if it's a better leader map than Hagel, but this is a really good map for this leader. As they got that first pick, they technically get the assist. I'm counting under the pick. Yeah. They do get 2 there, and again, this is just such an open map for leader, and maybe they go for the jump. They do not get to do the
wow,
jump,
defended by the Kraken. Good team play there. Unfortunately, that doesn't mean that they've slowed down I'm Just Awful Enough, who is able to make the jump. They do score, and they get a pick with that Kraken. This is really good positioning here for team name. They just need a couple more clams to keep the push alive.
Of course, and I do want to say this Kraken plus hammer combo is so deadly, and it's just... It's so terrible to fight, but it's so good for them at the same time. It just works. And we just see them score more and more clams, getting it down to 47 so far. I think Player is still alive in their base with clams.
I think Player has been in their base for like the past 45 seconds. They finally back up to mid, and it looks like this push is going to be over. And, you know, I think the difficulty is that Glass Needles has not been able to establish enough mid control to be able to establish a clam economy, because we have 19 clams on the side, 20 clams, 21 clams, 22, excuse me. Like, this is 2 power clams, almost 3 power clams. If they get like a pick or two here. Thankfully, Static comes out and is able to shut that down, and they have bought their team a little more time.
They're still alive, but Wraith gets a crazy pick on that Inkjet there.
Oh, canceled.
And gets 2. Oh, trying to fight the pro here. They do, or not the pro, the ballpoint. My mistake.
Yeah.
But they do come to Crapper, which Crab is an interesting choice there after those 2 picks. But hey, you know what? I'm not playing. I can't criticize.
Yeah, you know, I think they just want to keep this mid-control as much as possible because they know that if they can prevent the enemy from getting clams, who, to be fair, have built up some clan economy of their own with their ballpoint going down and their bucket going down, this might just be another push for the side of Team Name.
Yeah, and they've just had control this entire game. I think the only time that Glass Needles was even in a position to push was at the very beginning when Static ran in their base.
Indeed, yeah. You know, Static, unfortunately, is going to be really fighting a hard battle here, trying to take down Player, who is being taken down by Souza, so that is a little more time bought for the team, but still, 17 clams on the side of Team Name is going to be hard to counter if they decide to push.
Yeah. And as you talk about those clams, it's been really hard for Glass Needles to even grab clams.
Indeed.
Oh, and they go 3 down. That's a wipe out for Team Name, and this might be a big score here.
I think it'll be an enormous score because they still have 2. I Just Awful does have the Kraken ready. They put Static in a really bad position, unfortunately. Take him down. Hammer Throw does not connect, but they still have more clams to stall with. They're only going to need 2 more, and they are back in mid. Let's see if I Just Awful or Shisa can back up, or if we can see defense coming out here from the side of Glass Needles.
It does look like Glass Needles will barely hold on. It was a 2v2 situation there, and really good defense from the remaining members of Glass Needles there, just to not let this game end just yet. They do still have a chance. Clan Blitz is one of those modes. Things just happen. Yeah. It is still possible for Glass Needles to win this game, but they'll need to mount a really good push and definitely have to commit something to deal with those backlines, because if those backlines stay alive, you just can't move through mid, and we just keep seeing it. If they just keep going down, like 1 or 2 down, and there's nothing I can do about the leader.
Yeah, you know, the Glass Needles, they attempted to pop their specials there together. Unfortunately, they got kind of like mixed up in mid, and to your point, it's really hard to fight a double backline on this map when we're seeing them back up. Player is canceled there, which again will buy them more time, but still, we don't have a consistent map control coming out from the side of Glass Needles, and they're going to have to turn that around real quick.
Oh, and I Just Awful with a crazy pick onto that ballpoint. And I do want to say, something that might be slowing down Glass Needles is lack of a true entry tool. They have Kraken and Inkjet, but popping Inkjet against the leader in an edit isn't really the best. And to go down, we have a Kraken 1v1 here.
You know, the result of a Kraken 1v1 is both of them phasing through each other and nobody winning.
Nothing ever happens.
Nothing ever happens. Unfortunately, the one thing that does happen is a well-needed wipe coming out from the side of Glass Needles, but Osa, they have to move. Unfortunately, already their opponent is come back from spawn. They will have 2 clams to go with here, but they are going to have to push real quick with this vac. The vac is going to protect them just a little bit, and they are going to be able to score a little more, but Player comes in and is able to get 3. It's just up to Way here on the 96 gal. Maybe they can get a jump in here, but it's going to have to be incredibly quick.
They do get it done, but Static does keep
okay,
scoring.
Let's go.
They are getting some picks here, but they're going to need a lot more clams here, and now it's just Way here with this 96 dead to the ink brush, and now it's just Souza alive, and they cannot continue that push. Still,
really good attempt.
Yeah, that was a really good effort at the end of the game to get that push.
I think if we had seen that sort of like full coordination, they got a wipe, or maybe not even necessarily needed a wipe, but all 4 players simultaneously pushing up earlier in the game, I think we could have easily seen that 45 or 55 point push coming out from the side of Glass Needles, and their coordination was really good there at the end. It's so difficult when the entire game you've been just stared down by double backline, right? It's just so hard to move, and then finally you get the chance to move at the very end. You're like, let's go, and then there's just not enough time in the game. But yeah, really good showings from both teams, and it looks like this is going to be a 3-0 in favor of Team Name. Well done to them.